1 spoonful. Just 1 spoonful of a common bathroom cabinet ingredient can bring a fading peace lily back from the brink, or push it straight into root damage if you get the details wrong. Most people don't even realize this ingredient is sitting in their house right now. Stick around, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to use it, how much is too much, and I share tips like this every single week, so follow along if you don't want to miss the next one. Here's a scene you might recognize. Your peace lily used to be the plant everyone complimented. Deep glossy green leaves, elegant white blooms, that lush jungle look. Now it's different. The leaves are drooping even right after you water it. The tips are turning brown and crispy, no matter how careful you are. And the newer leaves coming in look smaller and paler than the older ones ever did. You're doing everything you think you're supposed to do, and the plant still looks unhappy. This is one of the most common frustrations peace lily owners deal with, and it's also one of the most misdiagnosed. People assume it's underwatering, so they water more. The drooping continues. Others assume it's too much direct sun, so they move it to a darker corner. Nothing improves. The plant just sits there, dull and tired looking, while you run out of ideas. Here's the thing. Sometimes it really is water or light, but often it's neither. It's what's missing from the soil. Let's keep this simple. Your peace lily needs a range of nutrients to build strong, deep green leaves. Nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium get most of the spotlight because they're the big three on every fertilizer bottle. But there's a quieter nutrient working in the background that barely gets mentioned: magnesium. Magnesium sits at the center of chlorophyll, the pigment that makes leaves green and lets them convert light into energy. No magnesium, no chlorophyll. No chlorophyll, and the plant can't produce that deep, glossy green peace lilies are known for. Think of it like this. Nitrogen is the construction crew building new leaves. Magnesium is the paint that gives those leaves their color and lets them actually function as solar panels. You can have the best construction crew in the world, but without the paint, the finished structure looks incomplete and pale. Over time, potting soil loses magnesium. Every time you water and the excess drains out the bottom, a little magnesium goes with it. Most common fertilizers focus on nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and barely touch magnesium levels at all. So month after month, the soil quietly loses more of it, and your peace lily slowly runs out of what it needs to stay a rich, deep green. This is why you often see a specific pattern. The veins on a leaf stay darker green because they sit closer to the plant's internal nutrient highway. But the tissue between the veins, farther from that supply line, starts fading first. This is called intervinal chlorosis, and it's basically the plant waving a small flag that says magnesium is running low. This is where Epsom salt comes in. Epsom salt isn't actually salt in the seasoning sense. Chemically, it's magnesium sulfate, 2 ingredients your peace lily can put to immediate use. Magnesium fixes that chlorophyll gap we just talked about. Sulfate helps the plant build proteins and enzymes it needs for everyday growth. Here's why this works so well for a peace lily specifically, because magnesium sulfate is highly soluble. It dissolves completely in water and becomes instantly available to the roots. No waiting weeks for it to slowly break down like some fertilizers. Mix it, water it in, and the plant can start using it almost right away. But here's the part most people get wrong. They hear Epsom salt helps plants and assume more must be better, so they add a few spoonfuls at once, water heavily, and repeat it every week thinking they're speeding up recovery. Peace lilies have delicate root systems and are especially sensitive to salt buildup in the soil. Too much Epsom salt too often, and you're not feeding the plant anymore. You're stressing the roots and setting the plant up for damage instead of recovery. The dose and the frequency matter more than almost anything else in this entire process, so let's get specific. Here's exactly how to do this correctly. Start with half a tablespoon of Epsom salt. Peace lilies are more sensitive than tougher houseplants, so this amount is intentionally smaller than what you'd use on something hardier. Dissolve it completely into 1 gallon of room temperature water. This step matters. Undissolved granules sitting directly against delicate peace lily roots can cause localized burning, so stir until the water looks completely clear with no crystals left at the bottom. Once it's fully dissolved, water your peace lily with this mixture the same way you'd normally water it. Pour slowly around the base until you see a little drainage coming out the bottom of the pot. Don't soak it beyond that point. This isn't about flooding the roots, it's about delivering the mixture through the soil the same way a normal watering would. Do this once a month, not weekly, not every time you water. Once a month is enough for the plant to absorb what it needs without overwhelming those sensitive roots with excess salts. As for tools, you only need 3 things. A measuring spoon, since eyeballing this one matters more than usual, a 1-gallon container or watering can, and room temperature water, since cold water can shock peace lily roots on top of everything else. Now, the mistakes to avoid. Never apply Epsom salt directly to dry soil in solid form. It has to be dissolved first, every time. Never increase the dose because you're impatient for results. More magnesium doesn't mean faster greening, it just means more stress on already sensitive roots. And skip this treatment entirely if your peace lily's soil is staying constantly wet, since that's already a sign of drainage problems, and adding more moisture and salts on top of poor drainage is a fast track to root rot. This method tends to work best on mature peace lilies that have been in the same soil for a year or more without repotting, since that's exactly when magnesium depletion becomes noticeable. It's less necessary for a plant that was repotted recently into fresh soil, because fresh potting mix usually still holds a decent nutrient reserve. Let's go a little deeper into the biology here, because understanding this will help you recognize the signs in any plant, not just this one. Chlorophyll molecules are built around a single magnesium atom at their center. That's not a small detail, that's the literal structural core of the molecule. Without magnesium, the plant cannot assemble chlorophyll correctly, no matter how much nitrogen, light, or water is available. This is why a magnesium deficiency shows up specifically as yellowing between the veins, rather than wilting or stunted height. The plant isn't short on energy from a lack of trying. It's short on the actual pigment needed to capture light in the first place. Sulfate, the other half of Epsom salt, plays a supporting role. Plants use sulfur, which comes from sulfate, to build certain amino acids. Those amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, and proteins are involved in almost every process happening inside the plant, from forming new cells to running the enzyme reactions that keep growth moving. So while magnesium handles color, sulfate is quietly supporting the structural side of new growth. Here's an analogy that makes this click. Picture your peace lily's leaf like a solar panel factory. Magnesium is the specific mineral needed to manufacture the solar panels, which in this case are chlorophyll molecules. Sulfate is more like the staff running the factory floor, helping assemble everything correctly. If the factory runs low on the mineral needed to build solar panels, you get fewer working panels, which means less energy capture, which shows up visually as pale, washed-out leaves. It's also worth understanding why peace lilies are particularly prone to this. They're popular precisely because they're forgiving and low maintenance. But that same reputation means people often leave them in the same pot, in the same soil, for years without any nutrient replenishment. Combine that with a watering routine built around keeping soil consistently moist, which flushes nutrients out through drainage more frequently, and you get a slow, steady drift toward magnesium depletion that most owners don't notice until the yellowing is obvious. One more detail worth knowing. Magnesium deficiency shows up more often in plants watered with softened tap water, since water softeners frequently replace magnesium and calcium with sodium. If your home uses a water softener, this treatment becomes even more relevant, and your peace lily might need it slightly more often than the standard monthly schedule. While Epsom salt handles the magnesium side of things, a couple of companion habits make a real difference alongside it. First, check your fertilizing routine. If you're already using a balanced houseplant fertilizer, keep using it as normal. Epsom salt isn't a replacement for fertilizer, it's filling a specific gap that most fertilizers leave open. Using both together, on their own separate schedules, gives your peace lily a more complete nutrient profile. Peace lilies that have sat in the same container for 3 or more years often have compacted soil that holds onto salts longer than it should, which makes any salt-based treatment, including Epsom salt, harder for the plant to process safely. If your plant hasn't been repotted in years, consider doing that before or instead of starting an Epsom salt routine, since fresh soil alone might solve the problem. And here's what not to do. Do not combine Epsom salt watering with extra plain watering in the same week, thinking you're helping the plant flush and absorb faster. That combination just increases the odds of waterlogged roots, which is far more dangerous to a peace lily than a mild magnesium deficiency ever was. Space things out. Patience matters more than intensity here, so what should you actually expect and when? In the first 1 to 2 weeks after your first treatment, don't expect dramatic change. The plant needs time to absorb and actually use the magnesium. What you might notice early on is that no new yellowing appears on fresh growth, which is already a good sign that things have stabilized. By the 3 to 4 week mark, existing pale leaves often look slightly less washed out, particularly newer growth that emerged after you started treatment. The deep green color tends to return gradually from the newest leaves backward, not all at once across the whole plant. By 6 to 8 weeks, with monthly treatments continuing, you should see a clear difference. New leaves coming in with strong, even green coloring, less brown tipping, and growth that feels more active than it did before you started. If you're past 4 weeks with zero improvement, it might not be a magnesium issue at all. At that point, check your water quality, since peace lilies are notoriously sensitive to fluoride and chlorine, and also check the roots for rot, since those factors mimic similar symptoms and are far more common causes of a struggling peace lily than nutrient deficiency alone. So here's the one thing to remember. Half a tablespoon dissolved completely once a month is a simple, low-risk way to correct a magnesium gap most peace lily owners never even knew existed. If your peace lily has been looking a little pale, droopy, or stuck lately, try this and give it a few weeks to respond. Drop a comment letting me know what your plant is dealing with right now. I read every single one, and it helps me figure out what to cover next. And if you know someone whose peace lily looks exactly like the one I described earlier, send this their way. It might save that plant. Follow along for more of this, because next time I'm breaking down the one watering mistake that's quietly killing more peace lilies than anything else combined.